Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron?
You done messed up, Aaron!
Aaron is here. Welcome back, everybody, for more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. I want to thank the viewer who sent me this video that we're going to be reacting to today, because this is just uploaded recently. A travel vlogger, a YouTube channel that visits small towns in the U.S., just visited downtown Clearwater, Florida, and uploaded the video this morning. And there are some nuggets in here that we are going to watch, or we're going to react to. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on this. Everything that happens in this video, if you are a citizen of Clearwater, Florida, in my opinion, this concerns you. You should be concerned about this. If you are on the city council, if you are an elected representative of the citizens of Clearwater, what happens in this video is something that should very much concern you. Here we have, the channel is named Darin T. And yeah, he published about a 20-minute video of his visit to downtown Clearwater. And this guy did nothing but walk around downtown Clearwater, walk around some Scientology buildings, didn't try to talk to people, didn't put a cameras in anyone's face, wasn't protesting, wasn't doing anything but existing in downtown Clearwater while recording himself, obviously recording himself as a travel vlogger. And he ended up being followed by Scientology security forces. I mean, this is disgusting. This is disgusting. And I have a lot of thoughts on this. I'm going to try to, keep my thoughts for the right time. But let's just, I've got some timestamps set up. Let me just show you guys. Here's the intro. Some of you might think that, like, when I'm walking around downtown Clearwater, or some of the other members of the Clearwater crew are walking around downtown Clearwater, maybe the reason there's no one on the streets is because we're suppressive persons. They're staying away from us. They're keeping all their people away from us. And all those things are true. But the fact is, it's also always that way. So anyway, let's just get right into it. Let me, here it is. Let's see. Let's do it this way. Here it is.
Well, today we are in a beautiful Gulf Coast city. Beautiful beaches, some of the best beaches actually in the world. Palm trees, warm weather, but don't let that beauty fool you. We are in the hometown of one of the biggest and most secretive cults in America. This is Clearwater, Florida, home of the Scientology spiritual headquarters. Today we're going to go explore what Scientology is like, the entire area they cover. Just a little fun fact is they cover a lot of Clearwater. They've created this entire buffer zone. So we're going to go check it out, see what we can find, and see if we can talk to some people, which I hear is going to be very hard to do.
Okay, originally for this timestamp, I cut it off right there. There's portions of this video where he's explaining his understanding of Scientology things and some of the controversial aspects of Scientology stuff. For the purposes of this video, we're going to skip those sections. But for the next 2 minutes of this video, he really gives a fantastic glimpse of the true state of downtown Clearwater. And for some reason, it's more impactful for me to show this to you guys when it's coming from someone that's not me, because I want you to see that this is how downtown Clearwater looks, no matter who's down there, no matter what day it is, and no matter what time of day. This is really interesting. This next clip is just basically a couple minutes long.
So let's go. So right now we're walking through one of the hearts of downtown. They have this beautiful area here, blocked off from vehicles, all for pedestrian traffic, but there's no people. This is lunchtime. It's just after 12 o'clock, and there's no one around.
That's right. It's lunchtime in downtown Clearwater. Guys, Scientology claims it has 15,000 members living in incorporated Clearwater. Guys, Scientology doesn't have 15,000 members in the United States of America, but they claim they have 15,000 members living in Clearwater. Not Pinellas County, not Tampa Bay, incorporated Clearwater, Florida. They do not. They absolutely do not. And if they did, they would be on, you would see them at lunchtime, at break time, at dinner time. And I'm not talking about staff members. I'm not talking about SEERG members. I'm not even just talking about Scientology public who are in Clearwater from all around the world doing Scientology. I'm talking about just normal ass Scientologists who are supposed to be members of the community like everyone else, who live here, who work here, but who are also Scientologists. They don't exist. There's less than 1,000 of them in all of Tampa Bay. There's less than 1,000 of these so-called normal public Scientologists. And anyway, it's absolutely incredible. I'll try to stop interrupting, but you know me, guys, I'm not going to.
Now you have the welcoming center there for the Scientology, but most of the people you'll see on the street are city workers or people doing work on the buildings that are around downtown. Now this is the welcoming center, and it's not very welcoming.
That's right.
They're not the most friendly when you go in there.
That's right.
Especially when you're holding any kind of camera equipment.
Right.
This is the old Bank of Clearwater, now the Church of Scientology. It's a beautiful building. Beautiful history.
Okay, I wanted to stop it right there, because he doesn't actually know, and I wouldn't expect him to, what that building is. That building is the offices of Scientology's Office of Special Affairs. Those are the guys that handle all the private investigators, all the spying, all of the dirty tricks, all of the harassment of former members, all of the following of people. This guy's going to get followed. By the end of this video, he's going to be followed by one of Scientology's private security forces. And he doesn't even know. And again, I wouldn't expect him to. That type of activity is conducted and managed outside of the Clearwater Bank building. The Clearwater Bank building is a property of the Church of Scientology, but there's no Church of Scientology like courses and auditing happening in that building. That is the Office of Special Affairs, and it's also where they stick their welcome center. It's amazing that even he, just visiting Clearwater, recognizes the welcome center. Not very welcoming, not very friendly. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we'll keep going.
Historic old bank. And this place is just empty. You have a couple people here and there, but this is not what you would normally see in a normal downtown.
That's
this
right. Not what you would see in a normal downtown. And guys, I know I say this all the time. I feel the need to keep saying it. If Scientology had the membership that it claims, downtown Clearwater would not look like this. Scientologists like to eat out just as much as everyone else. Believe it or not, Scientologists like to drink beer and wine just as much as anyone else. They like to have a good cigar or a cigarette just as much as anyone else. Now, they're Scientology billion-year Sea Org slave workers. Okay, that's a different story. Those guys, they're in the buildings 24/7. They don't live normal lives. They're not out there. But public Scientologists like to enjoy the nightlife and a nice meal and a stroll down the street, just like everyone else. The reason downtown Clearwater looks like a ghost town is because there are hardly any Scientologists in the world, much less in Clearwater, Florida. And there's nothing Scientology could ever do to make downtown Clearwater look busier than it is. And the reason non-Scientologists don't go down there is because of Scientology. So it's a real double-edged sword. All right, let's keep going.
A ghost town. And one thing you'll notice is there are cameras everywhere, high-tech cameras, watching your every move. Supposedly the cameras are so good that they can zoom in and see your phone when you're carrying your phone around. And one thing you'll notice is that as we go through the day, a lot of the people running around in these little blue uniforms are what they call their Sea Org people. And they live in these communal livings. Very, very odd. They devote their life to the church, and most people think about how you walk around, everybody has a phone in their hand these days. Everyone's looking at something, social media, whatever it is. These people don't have a phone. They're always clutching some kind of paperwork, usually in a brown bag or in a manila envelope. It's just the most odd thing there is. But the sad thing is you have all these businesses that don't get any business. If you look around me, look behind me, all the businesses are owned by Scientology, but they're empty storefronts, papered up windows, no action, no nothing, no life going on. All you see around here are people in little blue suits running around.
I just absolutely love this video. I absolutely love. There's some more clips I'm going to share with you. One of the things that I wanted to point out. So Scientology doesn't, like I said before, they don't have enough public members to support any sort of economic zone. But Clearwater, Florida has another thing going against it when it comes to its relationship to the Church of Scientology. You longtime viewers already know this, but I repeat this a million times because there's constantly new people watching the videos. The Church of Scientology in Clearwater, Florida is the highest level Church of Scientology in the world. other than the ship, other than Scientology's ship, it is the only organization called a Class 12 organization. You cannot join Scientology in Clearwater, Florida. You can join in Bel Air, Florida. You can join in Tampa, Florida. You can join in Miami. You cannot join in downtown Clearwater, Florida. This is the reason Scientology tries to keep non-Scientologists away. And the evidence that this is true, any ex-Scientologist will be able to confirm that for you. But the other evidence that this is true is sort of like, well, the proof is in the pudding. If Scientology wanted non-Scientologists to come downtown, those storefronts would not be vacant. David Miscavige has it within his power to like make downtown Clearwater look like this fake thriving city. He really could. Like he could, even though there's not enough Scientologists visiting downtown or non-Scientologists to truly support the economic zone, David Miscavige could at least make it seem like there were. He could put some nice storefronts in there. He could post some Scientologists in there. Even if these buildings didn't make any money, even if all these businesses lost money, he could at least make it look like businesses could survive in downtown Clearwater. He chooses not to. He chooses not to because Scientology wants to keep the non-Scientologists away, and it is because you can't join Scientology in downtown Clearwater. If you could join Scientology, I promise you, Scientology would be doing anything and everything in its power to bring as many non-Scientologists to downtown Clearwater as possible, because that would be their recruitment pool. That is what Scientology wants, where they have other organizations, lower level organizations where you can join. You know, pick a city: Phoenix, Dallas, Philadelphia, Buffalo, New York City, Los Angeles, Sacramento. There's probably about 50 Scientology organizations around the United States where you can get in. Believe me, Scientology wants as many non-Scientologists around those buildings as possible. But downtown Clearwater, Florida, they want no non-Scientologists around. Okay, we're going to jump forward to the 9.5 minute mark where he doesn't actually even notice this because he's not focusing on it. He's walking around Scientology's superpower building. In the background, now all this guy's doing is walking around a public sidewalk. He's not trying to interact with people. He's not running up to people. He's not trying to talk to Scientologists. He's not putting cameras in people's faces. And you'll see in the background, two Scientologists, a Sea Org member and a public, walk out of the building, and they see a stranger walking on the sidewalk with a camera, and they go, wait here, wait until he leaves. They won't even risk interacting with him. Check this out.
We are all immortal.
Okay, so right behind, right, I don't know if you guys can see my cursor. To the right of his face is the main front entrance of the superpower building. As of right now, there's nobody standing out there. Keep
beings. And we have these things called thetans. And the goal is to clear the thetans from the body.
Okay, so they're walking away from him. They saw him coming. They're walking away from him.
This is the old Fort Harrison Hotel. This was a historic hotel until they came in town and bought it. And of course they have the building. I just see people walking through there so they don't have to be on the street. Probably maybe for weather, maybe for hiding people.
Okay.
It's a beautiful little area that they've created.
They're right there, keeping their eye on him. They're watching him. They're waiting for him to get far enough away from them for them to be able to move freely. Like, this is how weird Scientology acts with Clearwater citizens and just members of the public in Clearwater, right? It's not just a matter of like, if you're an elected official of the city of Clearwater, you've probably fallen for the propaganda that we're just like you. We're citizens of Clearwater just like anyone else. We want a thriving community just like anyone else. We want a thriving business district just like anyone else, except they're afraid to interact with non-Scientologists. They go out of their way not to interact with non-Scientologists. And everyone else in Clearwater can feel it. You can feel the unfriendliness. You can feel the disconnection. You can feel the disassociation. It comes from Scientology's elitism. They don't want to have to interact with you. They don't want to have to explain themselves to you. They don't want to have to answer questions, particularly because this is a Class 12 organization and it is the flag land base. Let's see.
Like I was saying, tons and tons of properties. Here's one of their buses. Dark windows, just moving and shuttling people around. But they've created this huge buffer zone around these main corridors or head.
Yeah. See, even he can sense and detect that Scientology has created a buffer zone. Even that very concept implies you're trying to keep people away. Why do you need a buffer zone? So to make it less likely that Scientology Sea Org members and Scientologists will ever have to interact with non-Scientologists. Okay, let's jump forward to the 14-minute mark where he points out the surveillance state nature of Scientology's properties here. This is pretty interesting footage. He's on a street that I promise you, Scientology thinks they own. Okay, well, the street that he's on right now. He's about to go into a street that Scientology believes belongs to them. It doesn't belong to them. Scientology would like people to believe that it does. Anyway, let's take a look at it.
All these old historic buildings are owned by Scientology, but they're empty. They just leave them empty. Papered up, doors shut, locked. So just rows and rows of buildings, empty, and little people.
Where is everybody? Again, guys, it's the middle of a week at a lunchtime. Where's all their workers? Where's all their public members? Where's everyone else in downtown Clearwater? Have you ever seen a downtown look like this?
People in their little suits. Some of them are wearing vests. Like I said earlier, dressed very nicely, but not many cars. Definitely no people. I hear a squirrel. So they have this thing called a fair game policy. Now, the fair game policy, from my understanding, is that if you're not a part of Scientology, you don't believe in the teachings of Scientology, you are fair game to be silenced, harassed, and even sometimes the stories have said hurt. People have been supposedly, allegedly, run over by cars crossing the street on accident, supposedly. But just all kinds of like weird, scary things. United for Human Rights, the way to happiness, just empty buildings. Foundation for a drug-free world. Where are the people?
It's crazy, guys.
So this would be a great definition of camera state or Big Brother. Cameras everywhere. Cameras, cameras. This is a serious surveillance state.
There you go. It's crazy for me. Like, I go down there all the time, you guys. I've done videos. I've shown you guys how it looks like this. For some reason, it hits me differently to see it on someone else's video. I guess there's always a part of me that when I go down there in the streets or like that, there's always a part of me that's open to the possibility that the word has gone out and they've kept everyone inside and they've told everyone to stay inside and all that kind of stuff. And when I see it in someone else's video, I'm like, what? Like, if you just search, if you're an elected representative of the people of Clearwater, just search YouTube for videos about the creepiest town in all of America. And then ask yourself, is Clearwater's reputation because of the media and people on YouTube? Or is that Clearwater's reputation because of the cult of Scientology? I remember a few years ago when my friend Ted Reinhardt created the Cult City Tours, created a business, Cult City Tours. And he would sign non-Scientologists up to basically take a walking tour of the Scientology properties in downtown Clearwater. And he would explain to everyone what these buildings are and what they do inside the buildings and what they teach inside the buildings. And he would dress up like, a Navy Commodore. And it was very, very funny. And the Clearwater City Council was furious that somebody would create a company and call it Cult City Tours. They said, this is horrible for the city of Clearwater. We don't want to be known as Cult City. And you go, oh my God, you guys think people think of Clearwater as Cult City because Ted Reinhardt named his business Cult City Tours? How deluded can you be? People think of Clearwater as Cult City because of the cult who's taken over the whole downtown and who you don't say or do anything about it. And yet these people wanted to blame Ted for giving Clearwater the reputation of Cult City, not the cult of Scientology for giving Clearwater the reputation of Cult City. Absolutely incredible. Okay, we're going to jump forward to the oh well, we're gonna just jump. We're just gonna keep playing for the next 90 seconds. He makes an amazing observation. Check this out.
I had to take a little break. It's a little warm today. Give me a little cold brew. But if you look across the street, all the people heading back and forth to all the little buildings for the Scientology teachings. And keep in mind, something I didn't cover, and these courses are anywhere from thousands of dollars to sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'm told people spend. And most of the people I've seen today, I would say are fairly young, 40-ish or under, 20s, 30s. Now, when I was in there getting my Starbucks, I was talking to the people that were there and also some of the employees, and they mentioned that nobody comes in there. Everybody from the church has to use church cafeterias, restaurants, whatever they have. So they're not contributing to the local economy by using the businesses around. That's part of the issues that a lot of the locals in Clearwater are having, is that it's putting a damper on things. They're buying up all the properties, keeping it as a ghost town to create a buffer, and they're not using local business.
Absolutely. I mean, that is such a wonderfully stated, concise explanation of the actual problem with Scientology, regardless of what you think about their beliefs or their members. And I think it's amazing that even the non-Scientologists who work at Starbucks understand that the reason Scientologists and staff members and Sea Org members don't come in there anymore is because they're not allowed to. They need to spend their money at the cafes and the coffee shops and the restaurants that are inside the Scientology building. Part of the irony here is Scientology was actually pivotal in getting Starbucks to decide to put that Starbucks location right there. Before Scientology had their multi-100,000 square foot superpower building, what few restaurants or cafes were on the base were for the public only. Staff were not supposed to use those facilities because there were so many staff that if the staff used them, it would crowd out the public and it would make a bad experience for the public. So I believe it was even Tom DeVocht, when he was the head of the Flag Land Base, he actually brought a Starbucks representative to that intersection of Cleveland Street and Fort Harrison and had him stand there during meal breaks, watching 1,500 Sea Org members walk through the intersection, and basically said, now do you want to put a Starbucks there? So they put the Starbucks there so that the Sea Org members could use that facility while the public used the Scientology cafes and coffee shops and restaurants. But then they opened up the superpower building, and it's like, what is it, 300, 400, 500,000 square feet? I forget. And there's many facilities in that building for the Sea Org members. Now you're like, so these Sea Org members work 120 hours a week for 40 bucks, 50 bucks a week. Surely they get their coffee for free. You would be mistaken. No. They have to pay for their coffees. Now, if you're going to drink your coffee in the cafeteria, then yes, you get that for free. But the little cafes and the canteens and the restaurants where Sea Org members can grab their drinks, they do have to pay for them, but it's cheaper than a Starbucks. And also, when a public Scientologist is getting food and drink in the Scientology facilities, they don't have to tip because Sea Org members can't take tips. And I do think they still pay sales tax, but the food and drink is reasonably priced, cheaper than Starbucks, and you get great service because you're being waited on by an indentured Scientology Sea Org slave, and you don't have to tip. So it's cheap service with a smile without a tip. So there's no reason at all for Scientologists to patronize the bars and the restaurants and the cafes in downtown Clearwater, because they can get better food, better drink for cheaper price, and better service inside the Scientology buildings. This is yet another way that Scientology takes from the Clearwater community, the Clearwater business community, and does not contribute back to it. Okay, and then let's jump to the very, very end where he explains that he was being followed. All right, check this out.
Nice. He apparently bought it for $11 million back in 2018. All right, so I was just being followed to my car. I thought these were all rumors, but I noticed a white BMW X5 trailing me as I was walking to my car. I got farther away, parked in a public parking place, and I know.
Does anybody wonder who that is? So our friend, I'm going to keep playing this clip. I'm sorry to interrupt it, but Scientology's non-Scientologist hired security pro is a former NYPD detective named Ricardo de Quevedo, Dequevedo. Ricardo de Quevedo. And he is Scientology's hired security pro. He normally drives a blue BMW coupe. I've never seen him drive a white BMW crossover. But I can tell you a Sea Org security guard is not driving a white BMW. So this is going to be a hired security pro. And it wouldn't surprise me if maybe Ricardo just leased a new vehicle, perhaps. But yes, this is Scientology having just members of the non-Scientologist Clearwater public followed, stalked, and surveilled just for walking around downtown Clearwater with a camera. The Clearwater citizens should be furious about this type of harassment. Clearwater elected officials should be absolutely furious about members of the Clearwater public being treated this way by Scientology. This is what makes Scientology the creepiest ghost town in America. Scientology, their paranoia, their surveillance state, and how they treat non-members. Let's keep watching.
Noticed this car. So I got in my car and I noticed the car go by me. The guy in the driver's seat had a camera, was filming me. I went and made him, basically he went behind me, got my tag, was taking pictures of my tag, but I didn't leave. Basically, it was on a dead end. It forced him to go around me. I filmed him as he went around me. It is the most bizarre thing and is the weirdest thing. It's really got my adrenaline going. I was trying to reserve my opinion, but this is not normal behavior. I've been into a lot of cities, a lot of towns, filming, doing exploring videos, never been followed. That is a form of harassment, in my opinion. I'd love to know what you think about it. It is super odd, unusual behavior. This is maybe a demonstration of what they call their fair game policy that supposedly is not in action or in use. If you're a journalist, if you're a critic, an ex-member, they will harass you, sue you, hurt you, do anything that they deem necessary to quiet you. Very odd, very unusual behavior. A little disappointing because I honestly thought a little more positive things about the church coming out and seeing it myself. But let me know what you think in the comments. Again, I appreciate you watching as always, and I will see you on the next adventure.
Wow. I mean, guys, before let me just show you guys his channel again in case you guys want to subscribe. So Darin T, you can find him right there. He seems to upload pretty regularly. I thought it was very obvious that guy was not out there to punk, harass, intimidate, protest, or in any way make Scientology's day more difficult. He literally walked around, didn't try to talk to anyone, didn't try to go into the welcome center, didn't try to anything. And what he said at the end there, I think is so important. He's like, actually, after coming down here and seeing it, I thought maybe my opinion was a little better of Scientology than I even expected. And then I'm getting followed. I've never had this happen to me in any other city I've ever visited. Scientology is responsible for the horrible reputation that downtown Clearwater has. And you know, it would be nice if the city council members would even have the balls to just say that from the dais or the dais or what the hell, like just say that. Say it is, we want to be community partners with Scientology. We want to figure out a way to move forward with Scientology. We recognize it's not possible or realistic to even do anything other than that. Scientology is not leaving anytime soon. Scientologists are members of they're citizens like anyone else, even though their allegiance seems to be to this cult rather than the city itself. But we recognize that the only way forward is some form of cooperation. However, it is completely unacceptable for Scientology and its security forces and its hired security pros to conduct surveillance operations on people of Clearwater just for walking on public sidewalks. Completely unacceptable. Legal? Sure. Acceptable? No. We need city council members who are actually say things like that, not city council members like Ryan Cotton and Michael Menino, who are actually working for David Miscavige and helping them take over the city of Clearwater. It's truly disgusting. It really is. Let's run through some starred comments and we'll wrap this one up. Trixie Andrews. So they're allowed to stalk the members of the public, but you can't stalk them. Kelly BC. Beautiful city with empty streets. Sarah Engstrom. I agree. For a beach town, Clearwater does look really sad. Daytona and Cocoa Beach are a lot more exciting and look like a beach town. Linda. When I lived in St. Pete Beach, I drove down there. I walked down there at the busiest time of day and I saw no one. It was so creepy. Sharona. LOL, welcome. Another word that they must have changed the definition of. Sarah, I live in a boring city. I live in Des Moines, Iowa, and it looks a lot more exciting downtown than it does in Clearwater, Florida. There are people out and about constantly. Mary James, I just can't imagine how Scientologists reconcile what they're told about membership versus what they can see with their own eyes. I know, it's true. Vicky, residents don't want to go downtown and never will because they don't want to even indirectly contribute to the cult. Yep, that's true. Mary James, I always say it's like the Truman Show. It's all fake. Trixie says, if you were not up to no good, you would not act like that. A lot of things to hide. Sarah says, in my city, we have similar buildings to this. They house a bookstore, a boutique, a coffee house, an art gallery. Yeah, exactly. Eric Rader, that was so creepy. It reminded me of a backlot at Universal Studios. Mary James, a regular non-protester saying what everyone says. All right. James Worley, will Aaron be live streaming outside of Scientology in Clearwater today? If yes, what time? Yes, James, I'm going to be at personally, I'm going to be at Target 2. As of last week, I have to stay 500 feet away from Scientology's downtown buildings until my case is resolved. So I will be at Target 2 along with a lot of other protesters. We will still also be protesting at the outside the Superpower building. The stream is scheduled to begin at 5:30. I am going to be late because I'm coming right from the airport and a flight is delayed. But you guys will be able to find me at Target 2, which is the intersection of Chestnut and Fort Harrison Avenue. And the stream will probably begin at 5:30, even if we're not actually physically there yet. Eyes on This State says it's the wife's birthday today. It says Venmo. Venmo me. We will be there celebrating. Bill, good to see you. And happy birthday, Karen. Looking forward to seeing you guys tonight. SS says, oh, look, Clearwater police didn't mind giving the guy an unwarranted warning. Really, this part is starting to be infuriating. AA run. Oh, I didn't see a warning there, but yeah. Ben Bacon Bits, let's be honest. Ryan Cotton's behavior also doesn't help Clearwater's reputation. That's true. Uh-oh, I skipped something. Oh, there it is. Following visitors to the city doesn't do much to welcome people and encourage them to come back. Tourism dollars gone. Xenu Golf Club, how does the Starbucks even make a profit there? I actually have no idea how they stay in business. Whenever their lease is up, I wouldn't be surprised to see them shut it down. Caroline says he was really giving Scientology the benefit of the doubt, and they really proved him wrong. Abigail says, no offense, Aaron, but it's nice to see an objective view of Clearwater. Yes, I like to think my view is also objective, but maybe by definition it's not, because I guess there's a difference between. Anyway, I know that no offense was intended, and I agree with you. I mean, pretty much you're saying the exact same thing I was also saying. So I appreciate it, Abigail. All right, guys, this is the last one for me for the day until our protest. So stay tuned, guys. I look forward to having you all join me for our second protest at Target 2. Will L. Ron Hubbard be there? Will he not be there? Who knows, guys? But join us. We're going to have a blast. I'll see you guys soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.